Today we got to talk about Brett. And when I say Brett, I mean based Brett. Brett on base. And this is on the Coinbase blockchain base. Well, we're going to talk about, some of the gains that we're seeing here. It's trending everywhere. It's getting listed everywhere. It's now the top meme coin. Remember what happened with PEPE, how it became the top meme coin. Bonk, dog with hat. Like all these different types of meme coins that just come out of nowhere are literally just taking over blockchains. And Brett is the biggest meme coin on the Coinbase base blockchain. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to say my personal opinions on it, and then we're also going to talk about some technical analysis where it's probably going to go next. But anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's go straight over this. Now, first things first, here with Brett, as you can see, we're at 4 cents, so it's 0.04597. Up 63.9%. If we hit the refresh button, though, it's going to be a little bit different. But yeah, 60.7%, somewhere around there, give or take, in the last 24 hours. Now, in the last 30 days, we are down 26%. In the last 7 days, 33%, because there was a pretty big drop here for Brett. But it's kind of recovering right now. So it's kind of reached this little bottom that it hit down here, and now it's kind of recovering. And if you look at it, that's the same bottom that it hit around March, and then when it kept going up. So it may have some more room to go up from here. Now, market cap $397 million, fully diluted $467 million, 24-hour trading volume $99 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Now, I'll talk about some things that I think about Brett here. For one, it is the top meme coin on the Coinbase blockchain, and quite frankly, the top coin in general. Well, the top token in general on the Coinbase blockchain. If you look at it here, it is literally the top on the base blockchain. It's the top for all coins in general. On the like a native based coin, a native based token, yeah, Brett is the top on there. So there's also this one called Degen Base, but it doesn't have as much money in it as Brett. But if you look at the fully diluted value, it does show more. But the actual market cap isn't as high as Brett. So yeah, Brett is the top token on the base blockchain. Not only that, we also see here that Brett is the top gainers for all cryptos right now, is at the top gainers for this moment right now. And then the top trending also here on CoinGecko as well. So Brett is also top trending. Now, one thing I don't like about Brett is that there's just so many different Bretts. There's the real one, which is the one that we're talking about now, which is Brett on Coinbase or on Base, which is called Based Brett. That's what they call it. They call it Based Brett. And you can see here, this is Based Brett, right? So you can buy it on Bybit, Gate.io, OKX, BingX, BitGet, Bitmart, XT, BitUnix, DigiFinex, all these other ones, right? And yeah, based Brett, you can get all over here, right? The tokenomics, 85% went to the LP, Treasury, 10%, 5% is the centralized exchange wallets. You can see LP's locked 365 days. So you can bridge to base Brett, how to buy on base mainnet. So you can bridge over the, Coinbase, or the base as they like to call it, get base Brett. So there's a lot of different stuff that's going on here with base Brett. But like I was saying, what I don't like about it is just there's too many Bretts. There's Brett on ETH. There's ETH Brett. And like this one has like no money in it, and like it's like a scam pretty much. As you can see, like the fully diluted value, how's the fully diluted value $7.48, but the 24-hour trading volumes is $8.2 million. I don't know, it looks like a scam. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but it just does not look legit. And the account is suspended for the Coinbase one, right? Or I mean for the ETH one. And then you look over here, there's not only ETH, but there's also Salana Brett, which I don't think the Salana Brett is a scam, but it doesn't have that much volume in it. And I remember when it was pumping, I was looking at it because I thought it was the original Brett, but it's not the original Brett. The Solana one's not the original one. The original one it's showing is the base one. But then I like look at it, I'm like, February 29th, you look at that one, you look at the Solana one, December 17th. So the actual original one, the original Brett, is actually Solana. And they made post about it on their Twitter, talking about how Based Brett stole their idea, they stole their image, they stole their logo and everything. That's what I was hearing from them. but it's true that they created their project before Bas Brett. Bas Brett joined Twitter December 2020, or I mean, Brett on Salana joined Twitter December 2023. But then you go ahead and you look at the other Brett, which is, the Bas Brett. So this is Salana joined December 2023. But then we can look at Bas Brett here. They joined February 2024. And when you look at when Bas Brett launched, Bas Brett literally launched in February, right? And then you look at when, the Salana Brett launched, they launched in December of last year. So the original Brett is the Salana Brett, but they just don't have as much clout. They don't have as much movement and motion as people like to say nowadays. Because if you think about it, like they just didn't have the marketing dollars. They didn't have the marketing dollars, which is why, the Salana Brett isn't doing as good as the Bas Brett. But the Salana Brett is the original Brett. Now, Bas Brett is also being followed. The Salana Brett is following them. So I don't think they have beef, right? I don't think there's any beef on Salana Brett and Bas Brett. But one thing I will say is Bas Brett going like global and like getting all this attention puts Salana Brett at a good position. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that Bas Brett is kind of like outpacing the Salana Brett, even though the Salana Brett is the original Brett. So I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think that they're beefing because Salana Brett is following Bas Brett, so that is good. I just don't like how there's so many different Bretts, right? But the only ones I would say if you guys are looking at Brett as a viable option is Bas Brett and Salana Brett, right? Then you got some random coin called Brett's Dog. I don't know anything about that, but it's on Coinbase. I wouldn't touch it. It's up a lot, but I wouldn't touch it. Then you got Brett 2.0 over here. That's also on Base, but I wouldn't touch that either because it's too new to actually know if it's. And you can look here; they have too much. They have too much power on the token address, so they can just do too much to it. So what I'm seeing here though is Bas Brett and Salana Brett are the ones you're gonna want to look at. Now Salana Brett has way less money inside of it than Bas Brett, right? The Salana Brett doesn't have much money in it compared to the Bas Brett. Like the Bas Brett has a lot of money in it. If we actually look at the prices, Bas Brett, $397 million in market cap, fully diluted value, $467 million. Doesn't mean that that's how much money is in there, though. The market cap is what we're going to look at. The market cap shows $397 million. But you look over here at the Salana Brett, and when we look at the Salana Brett, it only has $5.3 million in market cap. But it does have some locked liquidity, and the liquidity is pretty high at 438K. So I think Salana Brett might have a lot of upside potential if it can get to like the same market cap as the Bas Brett. If Salana Brett can get all the way up to 397 million market cap, like how Bas Brett is, because Salana Brett is only at 5.3 million market cap, Bas Brett is all the way at 397 million market cap, then I think that Salana Brett could be a viable option if it can go all the way up to the market cap where the Bas Brett is. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of gains right there if it does go up to there. But right now, what we're looking at is Bas Brett because Bas Brett is doing good. But that's the only thing I didn't like about it. So if you're gonna look at Brett, look at Bas Brett, and then if you want like a cheaper option that's like below a tier one crypto, which is like a $5 million market cap, like a really low cap, Salana Brett. But if you want a mid cap coin, Bas Brett. Bas Brett is the one that's getting all the gains though. So just want to let you know. But Salana Brett, if they do some good promo, and if some of the Bas Brett promo, rolls over to Salana Brett, then I could see Salana Brett going up. And yeah, I just said Brett so many times, it's just it's getting tiring. But anyways, moving on from that, we got Bas Brett over here. So they just did some burns. They did $500,000 worth of burns yesterday. So that's pretty big for Bas Brett. They got a lot of listings. They got listed onto MEXC Global. Oh, well, they're just called MEXC now. But MEXC, USDT futures. I was part of MEXC, but for some reason it's showing, hey, you're not KYC verified, so we're going to delete your account. So that's why I don't have the link to go over there anymore because I don't want to promote them if they're just gonna delete my account like that. So anyways, they're now with the futures trading on MEXC, and I live in the US, by the way. So if you live in the US, you probably don't want to use it, because eventually it's going to say, hey, we're going to delete your account in this many days. Any of your futures trades that you have, we're just going to go ahead and clear those trades. So they're literally going to clear your money out of those futures trades, whether it's up or down. And not only are they going to do that, you can only withdraw tokens from there. You can't do anything else. So if you're in the US, be careful with MEXC. But anyways, moving on from that, we have Bybit. I'll probably make a whole video on the MEXC thing, because I was one of their affiliates, and I don't know how many people sign it up for it in the US, but make sure you watch out for your emails just in case they send you that email as well. But anyways, we have Bybit, and it took them a while to do that, by the way. But anyways, we got Bybit here with the futures contracts with Bas Brett. So we got that. That's pretty cool. And then we got BTSE with the Brett listing. And then we got DigiFinex with the Brett listing. So there's a lot going on with Bas Brett. It's going up a lot, 60.7% up in the last 24 hours. Is doing those numbers. So definitely check out Bas Brett here. Now, looking at some of the technicals here, it looks like we're still pulling back a little bit. I reckon that we pull a little bit further back down to 0.038. Now, we did just now have a pump, but there could be a pullback to that momentum wave band here. These are the automated trading indicators with Chart Prime. There is a possibility that we pull back down to those momentum wave bands and then build more momentum up once we get to those momentum wave bands. So you definitely want to watch out for that. But when we get there, we might get a buy signal like how we had here. Typically, when we hit the bottom of the momentum wave bands like this, we typically will go up towards the top of the momentum wave bands. Not always, but typically. As you can see here, when we hit it, we kind of went down a little bit more. Tried to go back up, but it got stopped halfway. Kept going down. And then sometimes, even when we hit the top of the momentum wave bands, we have those pullbacks. Like you see every time when we hit the top, we kind of pull back a little bit. So there's always the possibility that it keeps going and it stops at the little support that we have here, because the momentum wave band also has these. They also have these green little support lines. That's pretty much showing that's where we have more support at. So if we got some good support here, and on the RSI, it looks like we're going up. So if the RSI continues to go up and it doesn't cross right here, like if it doesn't do some cross like how it did here and it just go down, we might actually see some more increases in the price here. So we don't want to see the RSI cross and then go back down, because they will do something like this where it crosses and then goes back down. But what we want to see is the RSI continuing to go all the way up and then crossing at the top, because then what that'll mean, the price will then be rising up here up to like 5 cents, 0.056. And then the price may drop a little bit and then continue to rise from there. So we want to see some increases in here in the price with Bas Brett. But I'll keep you all updated on that. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let me know what you think about it. You think Bas Brett is better than Salana Brett? Even though Salana Brett is only $5 million market cap, I think it has a lot of potential. And I think Bas Brett does too. But I'm really looking at Salana Brett because it's so cheap compared to Bas Brett. Like I like to look at low caps, and Salana Brett is a very, very low cap. But with it being a low cap, it also has a low amount of followers. It has a low amount of people looking at it. So they're still active though. They're still active. So hey, they're encouraging their holders to dollar cost average, all that good stuff. I want to see Salana Brett win. But hey, I want to see both Bas Brett and Salana Brett win. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Not a financial advisor, none is financial advice. Hit the like button and subscribe. If you want these automated trading indicators, check out the link in the description for Chart Prime, 7 days money back guaranteed. Use the discount code CP30 for 30% off. And as always, I'll be back with another video.